I see you're in your
Are
shop,
these
which is really exciting. You're the first person to be able to show off a shop.
absolutely?
Look at that.
Are these students here from the auto program?
Well, they might want to be in the auto program. I think most of our viewers are either 10th graders looking at programs that they might want to take, or parents
Excellent.
of students. Yeah. So, um, yeah, they're checking out as many programs as they can.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Well,
life is good.
let me know when we'll start.
Okay. Well, let's get the ball rolling. So, Mr. Verso, you teach at Harkness, correct?
I do. Harkness Center. I've been on here for maybe 32 or 33 years.
No.
Love the place.
Yeah, and all at Harkness, right?
I did split 1 year, maybe year and a half at Kenton with Bill Peffer when we had maybe 42 students. At one point, we were running 3 programs right here in the shop, AM, mid, and PM.
Wow, I never knew that.
Comes and goes.
Yeah. So the only 2 centers that do have collision, though, are Harkness and Kenton, correct?
As far as I know, Kenton will not be having collision.
So just Harkness
Just Harkness,
with
correct.
the elite Mr. Verso.
Come on down. Come on down. Great place.
love
Great
it.
place to be.
I love that. So, Mr. Verso, could you give us like an overview of what collision repair is and what your program's like?
Absolutely. I'm going to walk the camera around as well, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Yeah, when I introduce what we do, basically, when we say collision, we are fixing vehicles that either been in an accident, kind of bring them back to pre-accident condition. I'll show you a vehicle here that got into an accident in the quarter panel here, and this student pulled the dent. He's got it in primer now, and eventually we will paint it. It's like a maroon color.
Nice.
We're also fixing cars, like classic cars, or doing a restoration. I don't know if you can see this. This happens to be a 1977 Pontiac Firebird. And this happens to be my car that we've been restoring. So that's another reason that we do collision work. And we also have a 68 Chevy that we're also restoring.
Wow.
A couple nice things that we're doing, but basically you're gonna do collision work. You're gonna fix the damage, and you're gonna paint it.
So I think when people think of collision and moreover anything with automotive, it's really mechanical. There's a right and a wrong way to do it, and there's not a lot of room to be creative. But in your course, it seems like with the paint and things like that, there's a little bit more wiggle room to kind of do some creative stuff.
Well, when we're talking about collision, correct? I mean, there's so many different avenues in collision. We'll talk about a little bit later is, we can get into detailing of the vehicle. That's big business right now. We'll talk more about that a little later. When a car gets fixed and before it gets to the customer, we like to also give it a detail, clean it up, make it look good. When a customer gets in that car, it's going to appreciate that. We can even go as far as somebody who would do the inspections, pre-inspection, see what kind of damage is there prior, things like that.
Yeah. So it feels like there's a lot of pride in what you guys do, making it look good and polishing it up and making a car look its best, no matter what it looked like before.
It takes a certain individual to do this kind of collision work. It really, really does. You got to be good with your hands. You got to be able to feel a dent. You got to be able to have an eye for it. Boys, girls. I've had many young ladies take my class, and some of the dealerships, independent shops, they tell me they would much even rather have a female come through because they have an eye for it. They have a knack for it. So for the boys.
That attention to detail.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I love that.
Absolutely.
So, when you're at your homeschool, and whoever is listening in and was in Mr. Shevlin's is going to hear me repeat some of these questions, but so when we're at homeschool, a project might look like a book report or a diorama or something kind of boring. But what does a project look like for your class?
I'm going to walk you over to our paint booth. We have a state-of-the-art paint booth that we use to paint our vehicles. And matter of fact, right now we have this is a '97 Mustang. I'm waiting for the students to come back so they can paint it. So this is our spray booth, and hopefully you can see that car, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's something that, we take pride. The kids prepped it, they sanded it, they fixed the dents that were in it. And now we're trying to get some color on there. If I ever get my students back.
Yeah.
kind of-
Hopefully soon.
Kind of funny. We anything, we'll paint anything. We got a golf cart here. If it's got 4 wheels, maybe even 3 wheels, we'll paint it.
I've seen a canoe or two in there as well.
You know what? Anything that can get paint on it, we're going to paint it. I'm going to walk around the shop here a little bit. You've seen our paint booth. Obviously, that's where we're going to be painting our good vehicles, complete vehicles. We also have 2 prep stations here that we will, we do our priming in there. We'll do painting if we have to. I've got 2 of them. The other one's kind of loaded up with parts.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I got a hood here ready to be painted if we can ever get my students back. I've got doors ready to go. Talk about, what juniors actually work on when they're here. You let me know when we want to talk about that, and we'll go from there.
Sure.
Yeah, got a lot of projects for these guys.
What does junior year look like compared to senior year?
Excellent question. So when you come in as a junior, we're hoping that, well, I shouldn't say hoping. If you have any of those skills prior to coming in here, that's wonderful. But most of the time we have kids coming in with no prior experience. And I actually kind of love that. I'll take that kid. We start off with detailing. We talked about that. This is where I want to kind of see how much you pay attention to this detail. We clean. It's not just vacuuming. It's not just washing the windows. We do a 100% detail that's you should be pretty proud of. We get into jacking and lifting. I want to make sure that you can jack this car up and safely lay underneath there without the thing crashing down on you. We cover a lot of MIG welding, heating and cutting. I can show you a couple doors that juniors are basically working on, where you have to take a metal patch, cut the rust out, put a new metal patch in, and MIG weld that on there. By the time the first 10 weeks come up, you're going to start on a door project. Door projects are kind of fun. I've got kids or past students coming back 20, 30 years prior, and it's like, I still have my door hanging in my barn. It's kind of cool. But that project entails a little cutout, kind of reproduce a rust out on the bottom of the door. They'll make a metal patch, MIG weld it in. I'll put a couple dents in it. So we'll pull dents, get them all prepped. Door dings. Oh my God, people hate door dings. So you ever park your car at a grocery store and somebody opens the door and boom. So we'll learn how to pull little, small little door dings. Eventually you'll prime the door up, and eventually you'll paint it. So I've got all sorts of colors that we'll kind of choose what you want to paint your door with.
Nice.
Yeah, then they take it home and they hang it and they look at it every day.
I'd love to see a kid getting on the school bus with a car door.
I have had them try. Swear, and I'll let them go. We'll walk out to the bus.
It's not getting on there.
No. Kind of funny, but so that's a junior year. I mean, there's so much. I have a welding area that we have set up with all state-of-the-art MIG welders, and you'll learn how to be a welder. As a senior, you're going to come back, and that's when the shop is yours. I would love if you brought your own vehicle in. It's kind of a nice, gives you a little bit more of a push. But this is when you would take everything that you learned as a junior and just compound it and work on your own vehicles and eventually put them in a paint booth and paint them. So that's kind of what you're doing as a senior in the senior year.
So you said you've been teaching for 30 plus years at Harkness.
Yep.
What are some, when seniors get to have free reign and they have all these like tools at their disposal, what's some of the craziest stuff that seniors have done to their cars?
Oh, boy. We used to have some crazy paint schemes. One time, I had three brothers. I've had quite a few brothers. Oh my gosh. I've even now have students of parents of older past students. It's crazy. I've been here too long.
Wow.
One year we did a vehicle that looked like a big paintball just dropped on the hood, and it was cool, very cool. But and it had drips all over, going down the sides, going down the hood, going down. That was kind of a really neat car. But I like when the old classic cars, like a 77, have gone. I've had kids we've done 67 Novas, we've done Chevelles, how many Chevelles we've done. Oh my gosh. I can't even name all the cars that we've done.
Yeah.
And when I see them done and looking so good and they can go out onto like a car show, that kind of makes me feel good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Senior, you come back and you got yourself a nice car, we'll paint it and we'll maybe show it.
Yeah. Do your students work as a team a lot, or is it really individually run?
No, it's a great question. I like to have a team, mainly because the reason is I couldn't have 15, 16 cars in the shop. So in years past, what we would do is we would put maybe 2 or 3 students on a vehicle, each working on a different part of the car, and eventually get it in the paint booth and paint. And then once that car is done, the 3 students, another student from that group would be able to start their project.
Gotcha.
But we team up quite a bit. Example, we may pull a student off and one student may need help aligning a bumper, putting a bumper on, a fender, a door. So to be able to work with your people.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know that you detail interiors, but when it comes to like work on interiors, like if you wanted to replace, put on a fancy steering wheel, do you guys do that type of stuff too?
Anything goes in my shop. Basically, if it's going to improve the value or have some fun, let's do it. We've done interiors before. We've done seat replacement. As a matter of fact, the car behind me, the Firebird, at some point, maybe in the next month, we're going to reupholster the seats. I'd like to show the kids how to reupholster. Pretty easy. So yeah, anything goes. You want to do something different, wild, crazy, let's do it.
I love that. You can really make it your own and have a ton of fun.
Why not?
Well, why not, right? Because it's all going to be relevant. So
Sure it is.
could you show us some of those door projects if you have any?
Well, it's kind of funny you just mentioned that. We did a lot of the kids took their projects home.
Sure.
Give you an example here. So this is that Chevy door. It's got some rod on the bottom. Where you see the blackout, that's going to be cut out, a new patch put on, and then welded and then body filled, of course. This one looks like a J. Actually had a hole in there. We cut it out, and one of the students welded a new patch on there. So that's kind of what your door project is going to look like. I did kind of show you. We get doors donated from LKQ or Keystone. So my juniors, when they return on Monday, yay! Each one of them are going to get a door. And so they're going to learn how to completely strip it down right to a shell, remove the glass, how to remove all the door handles, and basically get it ready for me to pop a dent in it. Well,
Which sounds like fun.
there's the body for that golf cart.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So, oh boy, this car was in rough shape. This happened to be a young lady's car who it was her father, so we're kind of returning that. This one's in rough shape. Ugh. New floors, new interior.
Hmm.
Am I getting
Wow.
am I getting you guys sick walking around?
No.
So one thing I want to share is we do work together with the auto shop.
Hmm.
So again, this is my 1977. The auto class pulled the engine not last year. Last year was kind of a mess. 2 years ago, and they ended up doing all the brakes, fuel lines. So we do work with them
Hmm.
in order to get a good result. And then, of course, we painted it. Yeah.
Nice. So I think people might be curious because I know I'm curious. What color is that Mustang gonna end up?
Green.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but it's a customer. So, well, really not a customer. It was another past student of mine. So, crazy.
Like a racing green or like lime green?
It's like a dark emerald green, maybe.
Okay. All right.
It's sharp. It's a sharp. It's a 5.0. It's I'm not an auto guy, but it's got the Boss engine in it or some. It's fast.
Very
I smoke.
cool. Very cool. So talking about paint, are you able to like match paint color right in the shop and everything like that?
Yeah. We have a system in our shop that basically you look for a paint code. Every car has a paint code. You take that code. We have a computer in the back. Punch that in, and it gives you a formula. Now that formula, unfortunately, could have alternates. Example, one red is not always red. You can have variations of red. So it's not as easy as everyone thinks. Here's the paint code, paint the car. Now you have to take test panels, check them out, paint them. Once you find the right color that you're looking for, we mix our own paint here and everything. So
Nice.
kind of yeah,
Yeah.
I'd show it to you, but it's a little dirty.
That's fine. So what types of jobs can kids pursue upon graduation? Like they want to go right out into the workforce.
Well, I'll even back up as far as when you're a junior. So 2 years ago, we started a junior program that my shops that we work with around here hire my juniors during the summer. So that was actually pretty successful.
Hmm.
Now, if you're one of those juniors that are going to apply for a job at Gabe's Collision, Basil, Chevrolets, the Fords, the old Ruba Collisions, now they are Gerber Collisions. Oh my God, Collision Masters. We got so many different shops that we can send you to. But if you're a junior, this would be here, and you do real well in my program, you understand everything, your attendance is good, your grade is a good grade. I would recommend you to apply during the summer at one of these shops. Now, 2 years ago, I had five juniors who did start July 6th or 7th, and the entire summer saved up nice cash. They were actually able to buy a vehicle, so then we ended up working in the shop senior. So you can get these jobs as a junior. Now, how cool would that be? You're a junior, you're 17 years old. Now you're working hand on, with another A-Tech, and you're really learning the program quite well. You come back as a senior, and you're top dog. You're knowing a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about senior. Now you're a senior. I'm going to have you guys go on an internship. We like to get you out twice. Once around Christmas time and one time around Easter time. What that does is gives the employer an idea, who you are, how you work with the rest of the gang. And then we'll do a last internship in possibly June, May, June, something like that. I'm not sure what the date. Um, Most of those internships do turn out to be a job if you want it. Unfortunately, not everybody wants a job in this field. It's unfortunately that's what it is. They would almost rather work at, I hate to say it, McDonald's, Wendy's. You're probably going to make a little bit more money, 14 bucks starting in a collision shop. But you got to understand, I mean, if you have a passion for this, and you do well, that raise is going to go up and it's going to go up. And, we could talk about flat rate and things like that down the road. But you can be very successful. I've got a lot of past students that are doing very, very well.
So it sounds like if you're really passionate about this and you lean in, it won't take long to make this a really lucrative career.
Oh, no way. It would not take very long at all. I can give you one example. What happened?
Mrs. Wright, who's next, is sharing her screen. So, Mrs.
Oh,
Wright,
I must be, gotcha,
Oh,
Mrs. Right. So, I have one kid in mind I'd like to mention right now. His name is Max. He was from Alden. He was in my program 2 years ago. He took the program serious, did a great job. Caught the attention of a gentleman at West Her. So he is now in the West Her apprenticeship program. He may have even been out, but the apprenticeship program, he starts off working with an ATEC, paying him great money, raises every month, and I believe it was an 18-month program. He must be out now, but I talk to him every once in a while. He's doing fantastic. The money he's making, the hours he's doing. That's just one example. I've got quite a few of them.
Right. So you have quite a few success stories from your class over the years.
I've got a lot. I've got one kid I'd like to mention, and he's not really a kid anymore. But Frank Tadaro, he owns Collision Masters. Frank was my student maybe 25, 26 years ago. And now he is, excuse me, owner of Collision Masters, multi-million-dollar collision business that he's doing exceptionally well. He hires my kids. He'll take interns. Wonderful success story.
That's awesome. So here's another question. What if a student doesn't want to go right out into the workforce and they want to go to college? What are the articulation agreements for collision?
Excuse me. Well, we have ECC, of course. We have an articulation agreement with them. Basically, how that works is they will take, I'm not sure on the hours, maybe up to 9 hours of credit because you went through my program, 2-year program. They will give you, I believe, 9 credit hours towards their program. They have a nice program. We have Alfred State College graduate. As a graduate, I believe we have Ohio Technical College, OTC. So there are a few colleges that you can take it to another level. Now, I would like to say that maybe you take this 2-year program and you really just don't like the collision. You just don't get it. You don't like the dust. You don't like it. I've had kids go into welding, go into MIG, TIG welding, and they're doing very well, successful. But you learn the basics here: MIG welding, heating, cutting, things like that. Mm-hmm. I've had students not get into collision, get into the office, actually writing estimates. So you can be an estimator. You can get into the insurance business. So it's not, you don't just take this program for a collision. You could venture out, all sorts of avenues. Absolutely.
Yeah, I never really thought about that, but being an insurance adjuster and having a working knowledge of collision makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, we've had tow truck driver companies get a hold of us, we will hire you to be a tow truck driver. Sounds silly, but it's all auto related.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So obviously you've seen a lot of students over your years, but what do you think is one trait that a student can possess that'll take them really, really far in your program?
Oh boy. You
It can
know,
be more than one.
well, that's really up to the student because, what we're going to cover in 2 years, I mean, we cover from detailing to welding to paint. So
Hmm.
some kids like to be a painter. Everyone wants to be a painter. Uh, but you're not going to start off as a painter. So if that's something you want to do, you start off as a prep person. So you are getting the door ready, you're sanding, you're cleaning it, you're prepping it. Maybe you take a door handle off, maybe you do something. You get it ready for the painter. Painter takes it in the booth, he sprays it, but it better look good. No flaws, no things like that. Then you'll get the door back, you'll put it back together. That's considered a prep person.
Hmm.
Um, a dismantler, you may be you may be hired as a dismantler. Here, you're going to have a wrecked vehicle. You have to take the fender off, label the antenna, label all the screws, bag and tag. We call so important, bag and tag. So you're going to start off, low like that, but then if you want to be that painter, I would say 3, 4, 5 years, you hard work, you're going to be a painter. I've got I've got 3 of my past students who are painting, and they love it, love it.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, people love to
Um,
paint.
so speaking of painting, I see some of the hoods hanging on the wall. Can you talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, these are a couple of the colleges that will offer. There's a couple up here. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there we go. The Flame OTC, Ohio Technical College, with the blue flames. You have Richard Markham, who is you can Google him. Uh, amazing airbrush artist guy. He actually came to our house one time. We fed him dinner. Um, phenomenal guy. The flag right there was one of his Richard Markham students. And the other one I think is Ohio Technical College too. So basically what we do is we have colleges who come to the school and they show us how to airbrush. I do cover a little bit of airbrushing with all students. I used to teach summer school with little 11, 12th graders, 11, 12, 12-year-old kids. So I can teach you airbrushing if you really want to practice a little bit. You got any artistic ability? I'd like to put an airbrush in your hand.
Oh, so again, there's that creativity piece that comes in.
Oh, absolutely.
I love that. So now I have like a personal collision question that I'm curious about.
What'd you hit?
How far gone can a car be before it can't be fixed or rebuilt? Like if it gets into an accident, how far does it have to be destroyed? I mean, that's pretty bad.
That one I shouldn't have took on, but again, that happened to be our secretary, a young lady. It was her father's, and just kind of a moment. What's the word I'm looking for? It's
Sentimental?
sentimental. Thank you. Um, you know what? Anything can be fixed. Anything can be fixed. You could make parts. I belong to a forum right now that collision and paint, but I also have a forum sheet metal repair. So some of the work that some of these guys, they have an Irish wheel, I think it's called. You can make a fender, you can make a quarter, you can make anything, rails, so
Wow.
question is, I mean, if it's really damage where, say it's a $15,000 car and it's got $9,000 worth of damage, the insurance company will total it. That doesn't, it can't be bought back, fixed, and put back on the road though.
Gotcha.
So hopefully I answered your question there.
It did. It absolutely did. Well, Mr. Verso, this is our half an hour is up. Thank you so much for showing us the shop and what you guys do there. If anyone has any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. But otherwise, I have learned a lot, actually.
I'm glad, I'm glad I had an opportunity to kind of show you my shop a little bit. I'm very proud of it. Spend my home. Like I lived here more than I've lived in two of my houses that I've had.
Yeah.
So, no, I appreciate everybody who been here. Any questions I can answer for you? I can stick around,
Let's see. There were a couple that you answered. So I think
Oh, good.
we're all set till next time.
All right. Sounds good.
Well, thank you, Mr. Verso. Have a nice night.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.